Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video we are looking at the Marvel Legends Baron von Strucker, which is from the Face-Off batch of figures. He was the variant for Red Hood, came with Captain America. He's basically the exact same sculpt with a new head and a new hand, but he's made in green and yellow instead of blue and red. I think it looks pretty cool. The paint job is par for the course for this batch of figures. It's really sloppy. Almost all of the Face-Off figures had really horrible paint jobs, so that's a little disappointing. He stands about 6 1/4 inches tall. He actually has pretty good articulation, so let's go through that first. He can look up really well, look down really well, side to side, of course, that's fine. Shoulder pads inhibit the articulation a little bit, but not too much. You can still get the arm pretty far up there, so the ball hinge works just fine. We have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, a wrist swivel, and then we have a wrist hinge and a finger hinge. So that's kind of cool, and this hand's a little bit more grabby looking, but the hinge is still equally awkward. This one's a little more awkward, I guess, so they're not equal. Both are awkward, this one's a little bit better. Ab crunch works actually pretty well, and they did do the sculpting all the way through. It doesn't quite line up, of course, but that's the nature of an ab crunch, so that's okay by me. Waist twist works all right. You can just force this soft belt out of the way if you want to rotate it more. T-jointed hips give him pretty good range of motion. Can't complain too much there. We have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He's got skinny legs, so you can pose him pretty well. We have a swivel at the top of the boot, a nice ankle hinge, and no ankle pivot, and a toe hinge. I thought this guy had a pivot, but it's definitely sculpted there, so I guess not. As far as the paint job goes, like I said, it's really sloppy. Nothing on him is painted particularly well, but they did put the paint there, so they painted all of these little lines in here. They painted the little dots darker green. There's black and gold on the belt. They painted the tips of the spikes on his elbow pads and wrist with a lighter green. Same there. The legs, I guess, aren't horrible with the lighter green with the gold on there. And then same thing for the knee pads, and then we have more paint for the light green for the boots. So, I mean, I guess it's not horrible at all, but it definitely could be better. We do have a few different shades of green here. I think that was intentional. So if it wasn't, that's horrible, but I'm pretty sure it was, so that's okay. And then the face sculpt, other than the head being a little bit lopsided, you can see on this side of his head, he doesn't have as much cranial mass, but it's actually a really good head sculpt otherwise. I like that a lot. Just the paintwork is a little bit lacking. I have this with him, this sword that is the same one that came with Red Skull, so I'm assuming he came with that, but I might have just had a spare and gave it to him because I don't remember what he came with. If it is his, then he comes with this. If it isn't, then he doesn't. Sculpt work on this glove of his is really well done. Definitely could use a little bit more paint, but it looks really cool. So it's a decent figure. It's the only version of Strucker that we have available to us so far. So if you're looking to pick one up before he might appear in a movie and the prices go up, this is the time to buy one. And it's not a bad figure, so I do recommend it if you want a Von Strucker figure. But if you're just looking to buy stuff that's high quality or that is particularly well done, this probably isn't for you. It's just a mediocre figure with a decent sculpt and pretty lousy paint apps. So it's really going to have to just be a judgment that you make on your own. Did I mention the wrist swivel? I think I did, but if I didn't, he has one on both sides, and this one's hidden nicely under the glove. I don't know if I did or not. Losing my mind, but what are you going to do? That's the way it goes when you do 30 reviews at a time. Sorry about that. Alright guys, there you go. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, that's a horrible pose. I hate those wrist joints. That's a horrible pose too. Let's see if we can make him holding his chin like he's in thought. There you go. That's pretty good. It's not really. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Keep collecting.